But also, I think, different trustees, as we kind of discuss it, will talk about maybe memory. So there might be something from Scripture Union, and they remember going to Scripture Union camp as a kid or something like that. Or it might be as simple as a really creative kind of report or story. But also, I think face-to-face visits, it's not something trust fundraisers are known for. It's maybe more the kind of more charismatic, extroverted major donor types. And yeah, if you can visit, a key person in trust. So, for us, it's probably Mel rather than one of the trustees. But if that's a good visit, the memories of that can last for years. And actually, she's had some horrible visits, and the memories of that last for years as well. And the charities don't get past the gatekeeper. But I think that is maybe something that, when we're trying to churn out as many applications as we can, to take a day and travel somewhere and that sort of thing. But actually, that in terms of retention can really pay off.
Right. Well, it's in fact, I'm going to press into this a bit further, because you mentioned before as well that kind of previous history, if you recognise the brand name the application is coming from. So many fundraising courses, as you'll know from your own experience, stress the importance of building relationships with grant makers before you submit an application. So now as you're on the other side, how significant is that pre-existing relationship? Because I always have this kind of like double-edged, on the one side, I'm like, I know it's about relationships and I want to get in touch with them. On the other hand, I know that you're really busy. And so unless I've got a decent reason to contact you, rather than just saying I'm thinking of applying, I'm a bit hesitant. So now as you're on the other side, where you landed with that thinking?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I remember phoning, I kind of went through this evolution myself and was like, right, we are not applying to a trust unless we phone them. So we kind of made that a keystone habit. I remember phoning up one funder. And I said, I just wanted to ask you some questions about your application process. I said, well, why? Like, what could you possibly need to know? It's all on the website. And it absolutely threw me. Like, I was just like, and I had that kind of moment. Have I already introduced myself? If I haven't, maybe I should just hang up and run away, because I've maybe made this worse than it is. I think there is a sense, on the funder side, is we don't want to waste our time. We don't want to waste your time. And if picking up the phone for 5 minutes helps save both of us, particularly maybe more on the fundraiser side, a few hours, and us kind of reading it and realizing that it's not eligible, then that can be important. I've had people kind of reach out to me and say, I'm thinking of applying. What do you think? And any kind of tips. And I think, I mean, again, this is kind of our selfishness or whatever, but it's flattering sometimes when people do that, or they think you can help, and there can enter this kind of strange power dynamic, and we have this this kind of way about that. But I think anything it's interesting. Probably one of the things I used to do this thing on trust applications, which is, if there was 5 trustees, and I would say, thank you for reading this application at the end, Tom, Dick, Harry, John, and Joe. I used to think I was being really clever, and actually reading it on the other side, it's actually a bit shoehorned and a bit corny, and often the name on the charity commission, so I'm a Robert by birth, but everyone knows me as Robin. So the name on the charity commission website is maybe not actually how someone uses their name. So I think if it's forced and sickly, people can see that.
Yeah.
But if it's genuine desire to build relationship, desire to, as funders, we want to give away, kind of $500,000 a year towards good causes that tell people about Jesus, and if your charity fits that, then you're helping us fulfill our charitable objectives. I often say this to other fundraisers. I remember going for a job interview and they said, should we focus on raising money from corporates or raising money from trusts? I said, well, trusts have to give money away. Yeah. So, businesses can bank the profits, but trusts have to, otherwise they're not fulfilling their charitable objectives. And I think that reframing can be helpful for fundraisers, for trust fundraisers, to think, I am helping this other charity fulfill their charitable objectives by giving us their money, which is, win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of the things I find fascinating about the because I do a lot of training with new fundraisers, or kind of, sort of leaders that have to do a bit of fundraising on the side. And you find with inexperienced fundraisers, particularly in smaller charities, they can feel quite intimidated by trusts and foundations, because they're just these in their view, big moneyed institutions that are a little bit faceless. And I'm always saying to them, we're all on the same page here. We all want to advance God's kingdom. We all want to make a difference in our society. It's just we have different roles to play in that.